Welcome back to SFCraft for SFCraft episode 30. So today what we're going to be doing is finally combine these two axes, and we will also be working on the Nuke shop, which will probably take a long time. So I'm just going to say this now, that this episode takes like a week to come out. This one's actually because it's going to take a long time. So first let's get the sharpness book out of here, and I think I'm just going to combine this axe with sharpness, so that will cost 5. But the thing is, if I combine this with this, it costs 7. But in order to do this, this will be the second one. That's going to cost 24. So yeah, that's not really going to work. And if I would put the book with that, well, that doesn't work because it's sharpness. So I think what we have to do is just do this. I don't think I'm going to be able to combine them together, or at least not easily. So there we go. And now it has mending on it. I'll save that book for something else in the future. So now I think we should be ready to go over to the shopping area and start planning some things out for this. What is this? What is going on here? Those two shops are gone, and the emerald pile is like, has that under it? What is going on here? I thought it needed a remodel. Feel free to change it. Okay, so this is now here. So there's like rare blocks and then just cobblestone. Yeah, I might have to change some of that cobblestone. I'm guessing this chest over here is where the quartz is. I could probably change that out to quartz because I have a lot. And I'm surprised that he didn't actually make the area where the emeralds were bigger. I was kind of thinking if someone expanded it, they would have done that, but that doesn't seem to be the case. So, let's take a look at these here. Future spot of Cajun meat market by Astro. So the wood store was here, so that got completely torn down by Astro, I guess. And now it's just a blank spot, and over here. Okay, so the bookstore is now completely gone, and it's not just a TNT mess, it's now flattened out. So hopefully Wisegear will rebuild this, and that will get filled in, because this is really weird, having grass patches in the shopping area. So let's take a look over here quickly as well, because I think some progress has been made with this thing over here. And yes, it looks like it. So right here, it looks like there's something over here. Can I jump up here? Okay, yeah. Okay, so is this like some roller coaster thing? Yeah, I'm guessing. Okay, so I'm not going to try to use it yet because this place isn't even open. But eventually we'll have to try that out. So let's take a look at our plot where we're going to be building this shop. Because currently I just have it marked out, I don't even have it filled in. So I think the first thing that we need to do here is actually fill this in. I can probably just use stone for this. But it's not really going to be easy to build on it if it's not even filled in. And I already messed this up once by building it one block too high. But I lowered it, and now everything should be good. This is where the floor is going to be. for the actual store. And it's stone right now just so that I have somewhere to build and something to build on. But I'll eventually remove it once I put in the actual floor. So now what we need to do is the reason why this episode is going to take so long to make, and that is getting the resources that we need to make this much concrete. Luckily in the concrete store we have a machine that can easily turn the concrete powder into concrete, but still I don't know if I'm going to have enough sand and gravel just in these shulker boxes here to be able to do it. Yeah, I'm going to probably run out of gravel. And this thing is going to need to be very tall because of how big I'm going to make it, but I will definitely need to look at the actual size of this build and basically how far away from things I'm going to make it. So let's start making some concrete. So I have the shulker boxes over here, and this shouldn't be that hard of a process because for now I'll probably make 2 stacks of both colors, those being red and white, because we'll definitely use at least that much. And especially in red we'll be using a lot, and luckily I don't have a lot of bones on me now, but I do have a lot of bones, so we can easily get red dye with the rose bushes, and I have some here already that are already grown. So I think what we need to do just for now is let's make a lot of this, and then just make a lot of that. So we have 2 stacks of red for now, and then what I can just do is just pretty much just spam this here, and then just when I'm ready to do it I can just mine it. Although for now it might be a little difficult with haste 2 to do this, although if I'm careful while I'm doing it I don't think I'll break too many extra blocks. So let's just go into a quick time lapse of me just making a lot of concrete. So we are back from that short time lapse, and as you can see in here we have 2 stacks of red concrete and 2 stacks of white concrete. So let's take some of these out for now, although I don't think I'll need it all immediately, at least not on camera. And basically this is what it's going to look like. You've already seen it from my creative world, but I'll just build up one of the TNT things here. And I don't think I'm really going to change these because there's no real way to put like the words on here, and that row here might get removed or changed or something like that. But basically inside of the TNT I'll build up the second one here so it's easier to see it. Inside of these 2 here is where the rocket is going to be, and I decided to make it smaller than I originally had planned. The center is just going to be this area here, and the reason why I did that is so it doesn't look so weird and I won't need to make it as tall as I would normally, and it will save some materials. So I think we are ready to go into a time lapse and really start working on this. So we are back from that time lapse, and as you can see, when I'm not falling into a hole, it is pretty much complete except for the top of it. And let's actually get our rockets out here. We made way too much white concrete, so we're probably going to end up running out of red concrete and then need to get more gravel, because I am almost completely out of that, at least what I know of. Now I might have more elsewhere, but this is looking really good, and we should be ready to start working on the roof. And the whole pattern worked out well. I tested this out in creative, even though I didn't really show it on camera. The whole pattern is definitely working. So I think we're ready to go into the part 2 of this time lapse and finish the roof of this. So we are back from that time lapse, and as you can see, the store is now complete, at least for the outside. And I did have to change this roof a little bit as I was making it, but I think I got it to work out well. And from up here you can see it. It isn't completely even, as in each block is one level, but instead there are 2 levels, the top and then that third one right here, which are 2 blocks tall. And the reason for that is so that it has more of a curved shape where the bottom is more flat than the top, and the top has a steeper slope, and that definitely looks much better, because if it doesn't, you can't really see it from the bottom very well, and on the top it looks flat. So this is looking really good now that I have completed it and made it look nice. So I think we are pretty much ready to start working on the floor of this, which I'll have to decide what I'm going to make that, and we will also be able to work on the inside and put some stuff in here. But before we do that, we should take a look at some of the shops over here, because there's apparently something new over in this area. Here. It's this thing. For some reason, like, over by where all these spruce trees are, there's just this. What kind of thing is this? What? There's, like, just random netherrack. What is this? Some kind of... I have no idea. This is weird. There's just random blocks. I think Jiren Forbidden B8 made this, but this is just weird. I have no idea what that is. So I think we are going to get some supplies and start working on the floor and inside. So I think for the floor we're going to go with white concrete, because it will look really good with the rest of this, and a lot of this is very red, especially on the top, and even with just the TNT. So I think the white will look good instead of using red or some different color which doesn't really match everything else that's here. So I will need to put the torches back then. So one more over here. And that should be good. Yeah, this should work. So I'm thinking we might actually have a second level with this, because this one floor here is pretty small, and I know I'm only going to be selling rockets and TNT and not really anything else, because there isn't that much stuff that comes from gunpowder. But for the upstairs, what I'm thinking is there are these firework stars, and these things here are basically just dyed gunpowder that can be used to make different colored rockets. So I'm thinking I could actually make some of these, because I have dyes, and basically those would be upstairs, so if people would want to get colored rockets, they could buy those here as well. But for the most part, I think people are just going to be buying TNT and rockets, and I'm thinking I should be able to just put some kind of thing on these walls here to make it noticeable, and then we'll do barrels like I usually do to hold the items. So let's get some supplies for that, and we can start working on it. So I have come up with some designs for this inside, and this isn't really anything, but I basically made some extra wide TNT basically that will be able to have banners on it, that way I can put letters on it. And then for this is just a rocket. I'll put the barrels on these sides here, and that way I can then have water elevators here, and then this will be where people can drop down onto. So I will put the top floor like right on top of that top red block right there, and hopefully then I will be able to light up part of the top easier, because right now you can't really see anything up there and it's just completely dark. So we are going to need to go back to the underground base, and that's because I am going to need to use the loom there, and I can make some of those letter banners. I will need just TNT, and I'll be able to put those on those things on the sides. So we're back with probably too much wool, as you can see. And let's start making these banners. So for the N, it should look like this. And then on the right. And then like that. So that should work. Yep, there we go. And now let's make a T. And then like that. There we go. And now we have TNT on the sides that actually won't explode, so that's good. And that's the main reason why I didn't use real TNT for this, because then if it accidentally got lit on fire by like a creeper or something, then the entire store would just blow up. So now I think we can get some soul sand and some glass and start working on these elevators. And I can make some barrels as well while we're here. And I will put those on the sides of each of these. And my sound didn't even record for this clip. So basically I just put buttons there so that the water doesn't just run out, and I added barrels under the TNT. And I might add more of those later if we need more room for them. Astro is also on. So now I can put in the soul sand here. And then I place some water down so that the elevator actually works. And I also place it too low. So I place some blocks here because this is where the second floor is going to be. And it's fixed. So now we're going to work on the rest of this floor and put some barrels down for the fireworks stars. So the upstairs is now complete, so we can just do this and come up here, and then to get back down, jump down there. So now what I need to do is just fill up these barrels and probably sort them by color just by putting concrete blocks underneath that. But we are out of time for this video. It's already been way too long, and we made another megasode again. So that's going to be it for this episode of SF Craft. Thanks for watching this episode of SF Craft. So this was probably the longest episode I've ever made. So we got a lot done this episode. And as you can see, this entire shop basically took up the entire thing. So we got to complete the shop and complete most of the inside, and now I only need to finish a few things and it will be ready to open. So thanks for watching this episode of SF Craft. Make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and we will see you in episode 31.